Hello friends, today you learned about this Cadillac reported on the successful launch of its new flagship. New BMW X3 M. You will be very impressed what the German company is preparing for us. Cadillac introduced its new flagship electric sedan this year. The novelty made a lot of noise with its appearance, all thanks to the extravagant appearance of the car, which echoes the models of the last century. Plus, Cadillac has an unprecedented level of commitment to this particular project, where each instance of the flagship is assembled by hand, taking into account all the individual wishes of a particular client. That's why the project has such a cosmic price. For the basic modification of the flagship, the Americans are asking for $300,000. If you hang any options here, its price can easily exceed $500,000, and this is far from the limit. While the car is physically impossible to buy, but you can pre-order by depositing a certain amount of money and thereby booking a place in the queue for your specific copy. After which the dealer will connect you directly with your curator, who will deal with your car individually and take into account all the wishes when placing your order. The initial color of the skin inside the cabin, and ending with the design of the rims. Cadillac assures that the number of variations and options that are available for new items is simply beyond the clouds. So two identical Celestics, in principle, will not be released. Each instance will stand out in some way. It would seem that such an expensive project is unlikely to find popularity among even fans of the brand. But in reality, everything turned out to be much better. Cadillac reported on a fantastic start before orders, and already in the next 12 months, the company will place pre-orders for the entire available circulation. In other words, a queue lined up for a whole year ahead. Let me remind you that the car is built on the new Altum electric platform and is equipped with a twin-engine power plant with a capacity of 608 horsepower and 868 Nm of torque. This allows the all-wheel drive sedan to exchange the first 100 in 3.8 seconds, which is very, very bad. Publication of the BMW block is famous for its insider sources within the company. BMW has revealed some very interesting information about the upcoming flagship BMW X3 M, which is the top modification of the entire X3 line. It turns out in the next generation X3M, from it seems from the 6-cylinder power unit, and the flagship modification is completely transferred to the new class electric platform, which will debut in 2025. And this means that the top-end X3 will exchange the internal combustion engine for electric motors, which by no means means that the entire line of X3s will move to electric traction. In fact, everything is a little more complicated. Civilian versions will continue to be produced with an internal combustion engine. And in the new generation, to get the G45 indices, the problem is that the number of modifications for the next generation of the gasoline crossover will greatly reduce the flagship X3 from this list, which will move to electric traction and become a full-fledged flagship of the X3 line, which will also produce a conventional gasoline line in parallel. Thus, the company does not want to take unnecessary risks and abruptly withdraw gasoline and diesel power units from circulation, realizing that many clients will not like such a sharp change in course. And since X3M is a niche product and it is not in such demand, this is a good way to check on this version how the public will react to such changes. And the power plant of the new X3M, nothing is known at the moment, but I have one more piece of information that may lead you to some very interesting thoughts about what opportunities open up for the BMW with the new class shape, on which the brand new top-end crossover will be based. A couple of days ago, a German company brought a prototype of the new BMW i4 to the test. At least this is how the prototype looks outwardly. But it's actually technically a completely different car based on a new class electric platform and a 4-engine power plant that's equivalent to 1,381 horsepower. Which means that BMW engineers have completely new opportunities on the way to creating very powerful and fast cars, and given that the X3M will be built on the same platform, you can only imagine what the company's engineers can do in an attempt to create the best sports crossovers in their class. Although it seems to me that it is excluded for marketing reasons. It does not make sense. So soon the company will be on 2 engine modifications and a power of 600 horsepower. This is quite enough for a crossover of this level. By the way, for those who are looking forward to a supercar from BMW, I also want to add that this platform makes it easy to implement such a project, and it is possible that in the second half of the decade the German company will finally please us with such an outstanding event. And as for the BMW X3M, this new product will not be released until 2026 at the earliest. The new class platform itself will debut in 2025 on a new electric 3rd series. So BMW is waiting for big changes that will greatly affect the perception of the brand itself and the change in the attitude of its fans towards it. Well friends, that's all for today. So subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. Good luck to everyone and see you soon.